What's going on, GPgaming? It's me, Sviatoslav, with more Total War Attila. This is another 3 vs 3. Myself commanding the Burgundians, Genghis commanding the Roman expedition, and HighLikeReallyHigh commanding the Alans. Now over here, one of our opponents played as the Picts, so he guerrilla deployed his whole army up this hill in the corner. So that's a very dishonorable way to fight. Corner camping. Now if you deploy like this and move forward and try to attack us, that's fine, but no one likes a corner camper, and this corner camp is especially effective because it's up this massive hill. So he just brought a whole bunch of black blades, a bunch of Celtic bows, a bunch of Scottish teachers, and some followers of Morrigan as his general. So I'm gonna go ahead and charge into these black blades. I thought that my barbed lancers would be able to break these guys, but definitely not. These guys are way tougher. You'd need like some guy in Abspar, or some Almaka's Lancers, or Mavia's Chosen to break these guys. So my shot gav's charging in. We should have waited for our infantry support to get up here before we charged our cavalry in. So over here, I'm telling Genghis to pull back, because I don't want him fighting 2 vs 1. So they have two armies over here, the Geats and the Eastern Romans over here. But we've got this guy up here in the corner camping. So we're trying to deal with him at the moment. We're trying to take this dude out, so that way we can triple team the rest of them. We can 3 vs 2 the rest of them, because this guy put himself so much closer to us. So HighLikeReallyHigh, he's pulling his cavalry through to get into the Celtic bows, so that way they can stop shooting. And that's the right thing to do. Some of these black blades are already pretty much dead, but they have really high morale, so they're not going to run away. And there's this massive blob of Scottish teachers right here. Scottish teachers are women berserkers. They're extremely effective units. So here comes some infantry support. Here comes some Agathyrsi warriors with their giant two-handed falcons. It's like a sickle type blade. So the Celtic bows are fighting against the cavalry, so they're not able to shoot effectively. What he could be doing is doing some rear charges with his general into this massive blob. So the black blades actually absorbed my charge and then killed my barbed lancers. So that's not good. So the Geats and the Eastern Romans are in hot pursuit of Genghis's army. I keep telling Genghis to pull back. You can see he gave attack orders with his cavalry onto the enemy cavalry, and I told him to get out of wedge formation, because in wedge formation you move slower. Your charge will be faster, but all your other standard movement is much slower. So now my infantry support is finally here. Our Burgundian axemen getting good charges into small amounts of remaining black blades. Getting my cavalry into the Celtic bows. Scottish teachers and black blades fighting against Agathyrsi warriors, summation cataphracts, and now some Burgundian axemen. So this blob is going to get wrecked. This blob is going to die. Here we go. I think I'll try to get some rear charges with my barbed lancers. Oh, just got shot point blank. Yeah, they're running away. They're not trying to fight anymore. So these black blades are dropping very quickly to my Burgundian axemen. Ooh, you see that head rolling downhill? Dude's head got chopped off. Black blades are dead. We're pulling back. The Geats and the Eastern Romans are not pursuing quickly. I'm taking up a defensive formation on this hill with my pikemen and my scattershot hurlers behind them. So I'm getting my axemen into the last of these Celtic bows because I'm tired of them shooting. And now I'm swinging more axemen around to get a good rear charge into this blob. Already got some Burgundian axemen in the front over here, but they're getting shot up really bad by those Celtic bows. Here we go. Here comes the rear charge, downhill charge by the Burgundian axemen. Gonna do so much damage. See some of the units now starting to break actually. Some of the Scottish teachers. Completely surrounded by axemen and cavalry. And I have the fiercer warriors. This blob's getting destroyed. So much death. You can hear all the screaming. Up in the women screaming. Alright, so the Celtic infantry blob is dying. High is charging his cavalry into the enemy general. You know, we could have just ignored this guy. But for the sake of completion, we decided to kill him. Now I'm letting my Burgundian axemen rest a little bit. They were exhausted because they ran continuously from all the way over here where I started to all the way up this damn mountain and fought through black blades. So I wanted to let them rest a little bit. So the enemy cavalry, some Nordic horse lords, are charging into some of our, what is that, Libinarii. Going up against enemy Nordic horse lords. He tries to pull away, but winds up getting charged in the back, so that's really good for us. But he's got pikes behind, so he needs to be careful. There he goes. Okay, he pulls. Genghis pulls his cavalry back at the right moment. High is rushing forward his swordmen to tie up all these units. I'm swinging back the rest of my infantry. Followers of Morrigan General is surrounded, and he's going to die, despite this massive hill bonus, and the inability of us to flank around him, because he's corner camping. So High sends in his infantry, Genghis is sending in his cavalry, onto some pikes. That is not good. Charged directly in front of some pikes. Luckily, he got stopped by the enemy cavalry, so he didn't go all the way into the pikes and completely destroy his own unit. So over here we've got Sarmatian Warband fighting off elite Nordic warriors. They're going down, they're getting shot at. They took a lot of damage. Over here the same thing. Elite Nordic warriors going up against Sarmatian Warband. Along with some spearmen. Some elite Nordic spearmen. Same thing over here except it's pikemen. Nordic pikemen and elite Nordic spearmen. So here we've got some super elite Bucularia guard axemen going up against some Nordic pikes. These Nordic pikes don't stand a chance. So here comes some Antisignani. I love the way these units look. The Roman expedition units. I really love them. So they just look really cool. So I'm bringing up my pikes to support this fight.
Their general is dead! A lethal blow!
The followers of Morgan General is finally dead, so I'm bringing over these last two Burgundian axemen over to the main engagement over here. Got my pikes protecting my hurlers. Got a massive melee going on. Genghis the Sagittari is dumping heavy shot into the back of the Nordic warriors. Now you can see they're starting to run away. The damage is piling up from all the shots. Because normally, Germanic pikes are not going to be able to kill 2 units of elite Nordic warriors. That's just not going to happen. So here we've got 1 pike unit staring down 3 Eastern Armored Legios. One of these units could just charge headlong into my pikes and destroy it.
General is under attack.
Some Nordic brigade, some cavalry. So I'm moving my slingers over here to try to shoot at this Viking captain general. Now I know most of the Geats units are dead or about to die, but it's always good to get rid of the enemy general. So over here, Bukulari God Axemen just tanking through all these units. They're taking a lot of fire now from Equites Sagittarii and Armored Sagittarii. Well, that's okay. They can take a good amount of fire. They have some decent armor. They have pretty good armor and some decent health. Big cavalry charge with the Alani General. This is high charge. His general into these explorators. So over here, I'm using my slingers, shooting at the scout Equites, scatter shot hurlers, pouring the damage. Look at that. Look at how fast these guys are dropping. To all my scatter shot hurlers. He's just walking his cavalry. Oh, what the heck? See that horse fly? This is just devastation. The scout Equites just died so fast. Now I'm going to start shooting at the Comes cavalry general. Doing crazy amounts of damage. The Comes, he's so tanky. He's still not losing very many people. And I'm focus firing on with all, is it 5 scattershot hurlers? Yeah, with 5 scattershot hurlers, he's only lost 9 men so far. But they're taking so much damage. Like if these guys get into melee, they're gonna drop fast. So see the enemy infantry is rushing forward. Pull my slingers back. I'm starting to rush my axemen forward. Big charge into the Limited border guards. These spearmen are gonna drop really fast. Look at that. In like matters of seconds, the spearmen went from 120 down to 76 from the charge. Just a few seconds. So over here, Eastern Army Legio are charged in the rear by my Burgundian axemen. Yeah, those spearmen already dropped. They're gone. They're already off the field. These Burgundian axemen getting tons of kills.
Enemy units have rallied and returned to the battle.
Now my axemen charging in to the other Eastern Army Legio and into the back of the Limited border guards that rallied. Scattershot hurlers shooting into the Comes general once again. Let's see, where's he going? What's he gonna do with this guy? He's moving him, and he gets caught onto the side of my axemen.
Field of battle. This is a shameful
Still getting
display.
shot with the hurlers, but still not dying. He's still alive. So I'm worried about the friendly fire onto my axemen, so I just stopped shooting. I charge these Eastern Army Legio in the rear, more Burgundian axemen. So these Eastern Army Legio's days are numbered. Really dropped really fast. So over here, Genghis' Bukulari God Axemen still beasting through everything the enemy can throw at him. Even triple gold Viking Captain. Just a really good axe unit. They're just no match for all these units of Bukulari God Axemen. Army Sagittarii getting shot at by regular Sagittarii. So that's what happens if you deploy. The game's pretty much over. Clearly, we've got this in the bag. I mean, we have so many units. I have all of my infantry. I only lost my cavalry. I have all my infantry, and I still have tons. I have half ammo on all my slingers. His army is pretty much dead. All he has left is his general and super depleted general unit, super depleted sword unit. That's all he has left. Genghis still has a whole bunch of Bukulari God Axemen. His general and some Sagittarii. Yeah, we're gonna win this. So if you decide to do that, you need to make sure you communicate with your team, so that way they know that you're going to deploy behind the enemy lines. and have a plan. So the point of doing that is not to corner camp. The point of deploying behind the enemy lines or guerrilla deployment at a weird angle is to some running away units. The point is to basically double team one of the enemies, to rush one of the enemies or ambush them, not to just corner camp. I mean, that can work. So like when we brought all of our units up here, if the other enemies had deployed on this side as far up as they could and then just rushed this side, they could have sandwiched us on this mountain where we could have been pinned. They could have had a downhill advantage because he deployed all his units uphill against us and then surrounded us from the bottom. So they could have done that, but they didn't. So, you know, guerrilla deploying is not in and of itself a good or a bad idea. It's just another option for you to use to try to position yourself against the enemy to gain an advantage. So Burgundian Axemen getting tons of kills, 240, 3 units over 200 kills. Yeah, my cavalry once again just getting slaughtered. See, high Agathirsi warriors doing good. His cavalry did well. His general got 243 kills. Genghis, oh my god, look at those Bukhalaria guard axemen, 337 kills. That is disgusting. That is I don't even know what to call that. That is just insane. 337 kills, and the unit was still healthy. The unit still had a little under half, so they could do a lot more killing. Yeah, Genghis is, I'm telling you, man, Bukhalaria guard axemen, they do not play around. They'll beat pretty much any sword unit other than Athar's Chosen, but Athar's Chosen are broken as fuck, so they don't really matter. So the Picts, yeah, this is the guy who guerrilla deployed against us. He really didn't get that many kills. He held us up, he made our men tired, he made us move around, but in the end, he did not do the damage that he needed to do. Let's see, Moa. Yeah, Moa just didn't have that great of an army. Like, yeah, Nordic hurlers are good. Nordic horse swords are good. So is the Viking captain. Elite Nordic spearmen. If you guys have watched any of my other videos, you know that elite spearmen in Attila are just not cost effective. They're just not. It is, if you're going to bring spearmen, bring the cheapest spearmen you can bring and have them on the flanks or wherever the enemy cavalry is. Have them in the cavalry fight. If you use your spearmen to fight against enemy swordmen, you're not going to have them be cost effective. It's just not going to happen. That's just how the game works in Attila. So I pretty much never ever, I never bring spearmen. I actually bring pikemen before I bring spearmen, because pikemen, when used with a whole rest of an army designed around those pikemen, can work in some situations. But spearmen, it's and see, the thing is, for them to support cavalry fights, it's the reason it's not that good is because in many times it's more effective to just use shock infantry like Agathirsi warriors or Uar warriors or Goden's men or any two-handed sword unit or axe unit to support the cavalry fight, because that unit is going to slaughter the cavalry just because it does a lot of damage, and it's going to slaughter any spearmen or other infantry supporting it on the enemy side because they're a shock unit, because they have the two-handed weapon. So that's why you'll never see me bring spearmen in Attila. Yeah. Okay, this guy plays the Eastern Roman Empire and brings no Heterea guards, no shock cav, no Tagmata cav. So, epic fail. I mean, Eastern Roman Legio are really nice. Explorators, I don't know why the fuck anyone would bring those. Spearmen, which is just why. Scout Equites, no reason. Equites Promoti, no reason. Ekute Sagittari, I can see why you would bring that. But he didn't use it that effectively. But yeah, look at that. 337 kills. That's the most kills out of any one unit in this whole battle. Out of all 6 players. Genghis got it with his Bukalari God Axeman. So like, if the Geat player brought, same with the Geats, he didn't bring any two-handed axemen. Like, why are you playing a Nordic faction if you're not gonna bring two-handed axemen? Just like, what is the point? Every other faction gets sword units. Almost every other faction has pikes and spearmen, and slingers, and heavy cav. Like, what is the point of playing a Nordic faction if you're not gonna bring two-handed axe units? That's kind of their signature thing. That's pretty much why you play Nordic factions, is for axemen and Nordic horse lords, and solid infantry. I don't know. I don't get it. Same thing with this guy. He didn't bring any two-handed axemen. If you play the Eastern Roman Empire and you don't even bring like at least two, like absolute bare minimum, 2 Hedarea guards, I recommend 3 or 4. But if you don't even bring 2, just like, why are you playing the Eastern Roman Empire? Like, what the fuck are you doing? And yeah, that's why these guys' armies just could not handle non-shock. So all these axemen just had a field day against all these swordmen. That's what axemen are good at. That's what axemen counter. Axemen counter swordmen and spearmen. Axemen just counter infantry in general, unless they go up against shock infantry like Agathyrsi warriors or Burgundian axemen or Hedarea guards or Nordic axe warriors. The Bukalari guard axemen will have a much worse time going up against shock infantry than they will every other infantry unit. These guys will just slaughter for the most part, except for shock infantry.